Good morning and welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. I'm Brian Nuevo.
And I'm Nate Wynn.
Following up on the story we reported last week, Tuesdays after 3-day weekends will be collab days because there's been a change in testing schedules.
In order to accommodate Collab Tuesdays in the spring and still meet the state's required number of instructional minutes for the school year, freshmen, sophomores, and seniors will continue their regular full-day schedule during April's standardized testing for juniors.
In the past, what we've done is what I kind of refer to as a reverse minimum day, right? But what we're going to be doing this year is doing that testing on a regular day schedule so that we don't lose instructional minutes due to the state testing.
Senior Gabby Ordez does not like the new change.
I think it's totally unfair because, I mean, it is our senior year after last year, but I mean, for it to be switched up like that.
Junior CAS testing will be held next April.
AP Comparative Gov is finally here. Gov this year. The addition of this class alongside AP US Gov allows students the full semester's grade bump.
It is like a 2-for-1 deal. You get to slam out 2 AP classes in the context of taking AP Gov as this integrated course in the fall semester. You still could check the box for your government requirement, but then you also get this bonus kind of class, bonus content, that allows you to kind of reaffirm and strengthen your knowledge of the US content, as well as to gain a more international perspective.
Homecoming nominations will continue into next week. The last day to turn in a nomination is next Friday.
We now go to Dom Taylor for sports.
Good morning, and welcome to this Friday's edition of EOTSN. I'm Dominic Taylor. Roseville varsity baseball is already preparing for the spring season by playing fall ball scrimmages like they do every year. However, this year there is one major difference: the coach. With the stepping down of former coach Lance Fisher, the varsity baseball head coaching position was open, and a candidate from an unlikely school filled it. We go to Emily Wright with more.
Former Oakmont coach Greg Zanoli will fill the position of the new varsity baseball coach this upcoming season.
I have a coaching degree from UC Santa Barbara. I've been coaching youth sports for about 20 years now. My last 7 years were at Oakmont High School. I was a manager of the freshman team for a couple years, JV team for a couple years, and I've been the varsity pitching coach there for the last 3 years.
Zanoli plans to use fall ball as a time to build chemistry between himself and his players.
Fall ball is all about repetitions. We're going to do a lot of fundamentals, drills. The varsity guys will get to play 9 games, so just kind of get them used to playing, seeing what they can do so I can evaluate them as much as they can evaluate me.
Senior Chase Nelson likes what Zanoli has implemented with expectations thus far.
It's pretty cool, we just kind of went over all the basic stuff on Monday. Haven't really gotten to know him that well yet, but I'm looking forward to it. We just went over all the things that he wanted from us and the stuff that we have to do every day.
To read the full story about Coach Zanoli, go to eyeofthetigernews.com in the sports tab. In other sports news, boys varsity water polo is off to an impressive start, being 2-0 after beating Casa Roble 14-7 and snapping an 11-year losing streak to Dixon by defeating them 15-9. Girls varsity water polo was also able to defeat Casa Roble 10-3, however they did not have as much luck with Dixon as boys water polo, losing 15-10. Girls varsity volleyball played their first games of the season this week in tough opponents Pleasant Valley and St. Francis High. The Tigers were not able to come away with a W in either of those matchups and lost both games 0-3 in matches. Finally, Friday Night Lights are in full swing as Roseville football is playing the Rio Linda Knights tonight at 7:30 in what will be the first home game of the year. Rio Linda is coming off of a 50-37 win against Center High School, and Roseville is out to defend their home field after their 20-7 away loss to Chico last week. And that's it on your home for Roseville High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. I have the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. And now we go over to entertainment.
Thanks, Dom. Considering the relatively low budget compared to an American animation standard, Leap at least succeeds in being visually stunning. The film features breathtaking scenes in the French countryside where orphan best friends Felicie, voiced by Elle Fanning, and Victor, voiced by Nat Wolff, reside, and eventually we see scenes of them skipping around whimsical late 19th century Paris illuminated by street lamps when they escape from their Brittany orphanage to follow their dreams of becoming a ballerina and an inventor. Little details also add to the whimsy of the film, like background shots of the still under construction Eiffel Tower and the interior of Felicie's ballet school with golden statues and chandeliers. Sadly, the animation is the only thing awe-inspiring. For a movie with so much promise, Leap takes a nosedive and ultimately falls flat. The highs and lows of the plot are built up by a clunky soundtrack, jumping from Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake to a pop anthem by Sia. Great separately, but when played back-to-back, not so much. While the plotline lacks movement, the characters certainly do not. Surprisingly, for a children's movie, there is some good character development, especially for Felicie's mentor, Odette, voiced by Carly Rae Jepsen. Odette was taken from the best ballerina of her generation to a cleaning lady due to a career-shattering injury. Through training Spitfire Felicie, Odette finds strength and purpose again, giving the movie emotional poignancy that the main plot lacks. While it is predictable to see Felicie quickly transform from an orphan with 2 left feet to doing grand jetés on a stage of the biggest ballet in Paris, there is something that is awfully heartwarming about it. And now we go back to news.
Thanks, Gabby. Junior Samantha Figgins participated in a 199-mile relay last weekend.
The relay is a yearly event that attracts thousands of teams.
My dad has friends in Portland, and he did the race for several years before I did, and he wanted to do it with me.
She had to train extensively with her father to get used to the high altitudes, but found the end results were worth the difficulty.
Altitude training is where you go to higher elevations, like in the mountain ranges and such. You get harder training there because it's a lot harder to run at higher altitudes. It was exhausting, but definitely a worthwhile experience, and the training definitely paid off.
It took place in Oregon, where Figgins competed with adults and teenagers alike.
It was honestly a great experience. They were very helpful since they have had past experience, and they kept things more professional and organized.
She will run again tomorrow representing RHS Cross Country at the Lagoon Valley Invitational. And that's it for us today in Eye of the Tiger.
And remember, we're always on at EyeOfTheTigerNews.com. See you next time.